Hey guys, it's Ping here with Whiskey Throttle Media, and today's project is a 22 250SX. And you might be thinking, well, why'd you guys do a 22? The 23s are out, we're almost to 24. And it's really because these bikes are actually a little bit better than the 23s right now, in my opinion. The fuel injection makes that bike feel very linear and flat, not very exciting to ride. And the carbureted bike gives you a lot more options in terms of mapping. You can bolt on parts and really kind of tune it yourself through jetting, through the power valve screw there that gives you some adjustment. So at this point, I think that they'll eventually get that fuel injection down, but it's going to be a little bit. You know, Twisted Development just came out with a new map for it. I think the guys back at WMR Racing back east have something. It's just going to take a little time. So with this thing, this belongs to Jeff Beaver. He's one of our assistant editors here at Whiskey Throttle Media. Part of our security detail as well. He's a very large animal. And this was his bike, and he was kind enough to let us do a test on it. We started with just, you know, we wanted to add a little bit to the motor. So we went and got a VHM head from Langston Motorsports with just slightly higher compression. We didn't want to do too much, but just give this thing a little pickup. We did a full Pro Circuit exhaust. Of course, this is the full titanium carbon fiber silencer. Thing is so beautiful, work of art. And V-Force reed block and some good ETS fuel in this thing, and that's really all you need. Even the head, you know, you don't have to have it. This thing really runs well without it, but it does give it a little bit more balls down low, so that's nice. And then on suspension, which is kind of for these things, it's really important to get it right. We went to Enzo, Ross and Will and the boys down there hooked us up. And I've ridden with a lot of their stuff with KYB, but I don't think I've ridden any of their setups on these WP stuff. So I was really interested to see how that felt. They always have this really plush initial that I can't, it's kind of unique to them. Those guys do a really good job. They got some little secrets over there. I don't know what they're doing, little magic sauce, but I was stoked to go there to see how it was gonna work on this WP stuff. And we left it air. This isn't a spring conversion kit, it's the air fork. Then we went to controls and sort of making this thing feel right. We started with ODI bars and grips, got some of our Nihilo Concepts lever grips, grip donuts, and these are our Whiskey Throttle show ones. We've got all kinds if you guys are interested. And then we went to seat concepts and had a good gripper seat made. And those guys, man, they have such good attention to detail. If you notice all the orange stitching around this thing. You can get that in different colors to match your bike. I mean, these guys just really, they're another level of quality. I just love their stuff. And then we went to, got a couple of KTM hard parts there, like the shifter tip, Nihilo Concepts brake tip, so that's a nicety. I find myself a lot of times missing both of those on the stock bikes. I feel like they're just out a little bit farther than what my little feet want to grab. So these larger tips just make it easier. I don't miss the controls at all. So if you're having an issue with that, check into Nihilo Concepts. They got some great stuff. Fastway foot pegs. These things are beautiful. Really, really a work of art the way they're machined. Different kinds of pegs you can thread in and out of there. And then they also have some washers you can drop in to change the camber. I like mine pretty flat, but if you like yours arched up a little bit, or over time, if they start to sag, you see stock pegs do that a lot, you can tilt these right back up. And they also have a little hole for the spring. It is the easiest foot peg to take on and off I've ever seen. Just really, really well engineered. Got a wheel set from W, Pro X chain and sprocket, Pro X air filter. We got some O'Toole oils in this thing. Dunlop tires. This is the MX33. We couldn't find a 34 for them, so the 33 is still a great tire. We've also got a lot of Works Connection parts. You know, Jeff is the consummate vet rider with a little bit of money to spend. So he's got every anodized orange part you can possibly find, from the levers to all the caps. These are all Works Connection, obviously. We really wanted to go with a cool look to it, so two things. Talent over at Churbis set us up with a full set of gray plastic. Looks really nice. And we put these SKDA Elevate graphics kit over it. And you can buy these, but you get a heavy discount if you're an Elevate member. And SKDA does not do discounts. That's a premium brand. Very, very high quality, high level. They don't do discounts. So that's the only way you're going to get one, is signing up for a membership to Elevate, and it almost pays for your subscription. So have a peek at that. And then Recluse clutch. This is just a cover. The stock clutch in this thing is good unless you're building a ton of more power into it. Stock clutch is fine. We just like the look of the cover, and the boys at Recluse set us up with this one. I think it looks really nice. And then lastly, just want to thank Three Brothers. That's where Jeff picked this bike up. Those guys have been really supportive and helpful. Just a great dealership down there. So if you're in the area, look at Three Brothers Racing. All right, so on the track, what do we think of this thing? My first impression after having not ridden one in a while and riding the new like Yamahas is it feels a little bigger. You know, the seat feels kind of wide and long. It just feels like a bigger motorcycle, which will suit Jeff really well because he's a bigger guy. For me, it took a little bit to get used to. And then I noticed initially it just felt kind of linear, like I didn't have any excitement down low. I wanted to kind of pick up a little quicker. And I'll recommend this to anyone that's got one of these things. Check that power valve adjuster. It's a square little hole here on the right side down by the cylinder head. There's a tool that goes in. It's a square tool that you can adjust that, but you can also just take a big flat blade that'll fit in there and twist it and open that thing up a good bit. It comes kind of screwed in all the way, and all that is a tensioner on the power valve. So the farther in it's screwed, the more tension it puts on a spring, the longer it takes for the power valve to open. So it really spreads that power out, makes it smoother down low and easier to come on. By taking some of that tension off, the power valve opens sooner and it gets exciting a little quicker. So for me, I like that. And if you go all the way out, it could be a little much depending on what feel you're looking for, but I'm close to being all the way out, and that it makes such a difference in the feel of one of these bikes. So if you've got any one of these Austrian models, do that. Just play with it, and you can just pull in, adjust it, you know, to wherever you want, and go back out. It's really easy to do, but it makes a big difference. And once I adjusted that, I got a big smile on my face. This thing just has a really strong pull. It's rider friendly. We might have been a touch lean on the main jet, just because when I would kind of let it rev coming into a turn, if I didn't want to quite catch a shift, it would go flat a little bit. I think if I'd have gone up on the main just one, we'd get a little more pull out of that top. It wasn't bad. It wasn't popping or anything weird, but I think I could have gotten a little more over rev with that. That was the only little thing. I didn't have a jet to change it today, but still really fun to ride. Has a really deep, nasty sound to it. That's in part to the silencer a lot. Just really sounds nice. These are my go-to bars and grips, so it was really comfortable right away. The ODI RC bend and the lever grip for me, just a lot of comfort for my fingers. And then the suspension, this was a kind of a big thing I wanted to talk about. Like I said, I hadn't ridden Enzo stuff on WP, and it's funny, it has the exact same characteristics of the other stuff I've ridden, which has always been, I've ridden one set of Showa of theirs and then several different KYB setups on different brands. And it always has this really good plush initial where little chop, acceleration bumps, it's just a Cadillac. But it has enough progression that you don't blow through it. It's really a really good feel and setting, and it's the same on this thing. I was really impressed with the suspension. They did a great job. Just stoked. If you guys are looking for something better or a way to make this air fork work, because I'm not a fan of this thing, they've done a really great job of making it work. And you'll still probably have to keep checking the pressure to make sure it's right. I'm at 147 PSI. 105 millimeters of sag is what they recommended for me. And anytime you go up in elevation or down, or the temperature goes up or down, or you ride it a lot, you're gonna build some pressure in there and have to keep adjusting it. That's what I don't like about the air fork. But as far as performance, they do have it working really well. Clutch and brakes all worked great, no issues there. The seat was really comfortable. Like I said, the power was really fun. The pickup was really impressive, and I think that could be part due to that extra compression we have in the VHM head. But I could roll third in a lot of turns and just leave the clutch alone, and it picks up with a very four-strokey type of feel. It just, I didn't even have to give it a little blip of the clutch. So that was impressive. I really like that. And tires worked well. I know I like the 34s better. I was bummed I couldn't get some of those on here, but these 33s are still a great product. And other than that, man, I really had fun on this bike. Like I said, once I got used to the kind of longer, taller feel of it, I was having a blast. And probably the thing that was the most fun to me was the suspension. I could just go bombing into bumps with so much confidence because this stuff works so well. Really impressed with every time I've ridden with Enzo stuff, they do a great job. So big thank you to those guys for putting in the work. And then Lastly, I just want to touch on the look of this thing. It is a really pretty bike. Stoked on the graphics, and SKDA comes through for us every single time. Just really quality looking stuff. And they make this graphic. If you ride a Honda, then all of these little touch points are red. They make them in blue, green, whatever you've got, they make a colorway to fit it. So very cool. Amazing bike. I really had a lot of fun riding this thing today, and may talk Jeff into letting me spin some more laps here or there. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much to all the companies that got involved and helped us bring this to you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, if you like the content we're bringing you here, subscribe, like this, tell your friends, share it, all that stuff. It helps us to grow. We sure appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on the next build.